You know, every time you log in at work, whether it's for email or a shared drive, there's this invisible world working behind the scenes, a complex web of rules that decides who you are and what you're allowed to touch. So today, let's pull back the curtain on these digital gatekeepers.
Think about your first day at a new job. Way before you even get your hands on a laptop or meet your new team, something really critical is already happening in the background. We're going to follow a new hire, let's call him Alex, and see exactly how their digital identity gets built from scratch, step by step.
So before Alex can even dream of logging in, the company has to create their official digital identity. This is kind of like their digital birth certificate. It's the one record that officially says, yep, Alex works here. They're a real person in our system.
Now, this identity has to live somewhere, right? And that somewhere is what's called a directory service. The biggest one, the one you'll find almost everywhere, is Microsoft's Active Directory, or just AD. Just picture a massive digital phone book for the entire company. It's got everybody's info, every computer, even the office printers. In the IT world, you'll hear people call this directory the source of truth, and they mean it. It's the final, authoritative record. If you exist in Active Directory, you officially exist in the company's digital universe. If you're not in there, well, you pretty much don't exist.
And Active Directory is not some new, flashy tech. It's been the absolute backbone of corporate networks since it first showed up way back in 1999. It's evolved over decades, from old-school servers to today's cloud-based world, which just goes to show how truly fundamental it is.
Okay, so Alex's digital identity now exists. They're in the system. But just having an identity isn't enough, is it? The very next step is proving that they are Alex. And this is that first crucial security checkpoint, the digital handshake that happens every single time you log in.
Honestly, the easiest way to think about this is just like showing your ID badge to the security guard at the front desk. The guard glances at your photo, checks your face, and verifies it's really you. In the digital world, your username and password, that's your ID card.
And this whole process has a name: authentication. It's all about answering one simple but incredibly important question. Are you who you say you are? This is the absolute first line of defense for protecting any system.
But think about this for a second. When Alex types their password into some application, how does that app actually go and check it against the record that's buried deep inside Active Directory? It can't just call it up. There has to be a messenger, some kind of common language that they can both speak. And that messenger is a protocol called LDAP. It stands for Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, and it's basically the standard way for applications to talk to directory services. It's the thing that lets an app ask Active Directory, hey, is this the right password for Alex?
Here's a great way to picture it. Imagine Active Directory is this deep, vast well that's just full of user data. Well, LDAP is the tap. It gives any authorized application a controlled way to get the data it needs, whether that's to check a password or just look up someone's email address. So Alex has proven who they are. They are authenticated. They're officially inside the digital building. But that doesn't mean they can just start wandering into the CEO's office, right? Just because you're in the door doesn't mean you can go everywhere.
And this brings us to a super important distinction: the difference between authentication and authorization. Authentication is proving you are who you say you are. Authorization is what you're allowed to do after you've proven it. Getting this right is one of the biggest deals in all of security.
So, how do companies manage this for literally thousands of employees? They don't give out permissions one by one. That would be a nightmare. Instead, they use a system called Role-Based Access Control, or RBAC. Basically, your access is defined by your job, not by you as an individual.
So let's see how this works for Alex. Because Alex is in the IT department, their role automatically gives them access to all the stuff an IT person needs. You know, servers, dev software, support tickets, and, just as important, it automatically blocks them from things they have no business seeing, like the finance database or HR files. It's just efficient and, more importantly, secure. Now, all of these systems, authentication, authorization, this RBC stuff, they're all guided by a set of core security principles. Think of these as the fundamental rules of the road that make sure access is managed safely across the whole organization.
And probably the most important of all of them is the principle of least privilege. It's a really simple idea. You should only have the absolute bare minimum level of access or privileges that you need to do your job, not a single permission more. This very principle is a cornerstone of the whole modern zero-trust security philosophy. And the name really says it all.
The system should never just blindly trust any user. It has to verify who you are and what you're allowed to do every single time. Never trust, always verify.
Another key principle is called segregation of duties. This just means that for really important actions, you need more than one person to make it happen. So Alex can request access to something, but their manager has to approve it, and maybe a system admin has to double-check it. It's a simple way to prevent fraud and, frankly, silly mistakes.
So we've followed Alex's journey pretty closely from day one. Now, let's zoom out a bit and see how all these ideas fit into the much bigger picture of what we call Identity and Access Management, or IAM, for the whole company.
The whole IAM world is really an ecosystem of specialized tools. You have identity governance tools like SailPoint that manage a user's entire lifecycle. Then you've got access management tools like Okta that handle all the authentication and single sign-on. And then there are PAM tools like CyberArk that are all about locking down those super powerful admin accounts.
Okay, I get it. After all these directories, protocols, and acronyms, you might be sitting there asking yourself, so what? Why do companies pour so much time and money into all this stuff? Why does it really matter?
Well, it really boils down to two huge things. Number one, security. Preventing data breaches is everything. And number two, compliance. Companies have to follow really strict industry rules, like SOX or GDPR, and having a solid IAM system is the only way they can prove they're actually doing it.
So the next time you log on at work, just remember this hidden world working behind the scenes. Your digital identity isn't just a username, it's this carefully managed asset with owners and reviewers and all these rules. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Who really holds the keys to your digital self?